or ill, tomorrow's headline writers await the performance of Paul Gascoigne. And he wears number 8 in what is Bobby Robson's 85th match in charge, and for which he uses an 86 different player. He is Lee Dixon, the Arsenal fullback, who along with Gaza and Steve Bull has a chance to take. And also in the absence of Barnes and Waddle, there's an opportunity for the two wide men in midfield, Trevor Steven and Steve Hodge, who are between the usual style of a back four and two up front. Czechoslovakia too have players missing because of club commitments, but West Ham United are happy to make available to them their new goalkeeper, Ludek Mikloško. 3 of their players play their football in West Germany and 1 in Italy, and they have 4 members of the perennial champions, Sparta Prague. They play with a sweeper behind a back 4 with Hasek, Kubik and Moravcik in midfield and 2 up front. The ruling on the substitutions is that a goalkeeper +3 will be allowed unless there is a serious injury. 3 of the England players expecting a call, and I'm sure Tony Daly hoping for one. Making his first appearance in England, he's not on the World Cup panel, and the 2 linesmen are Remy Harel and Michel Nuet. Harel on the far side, incidentally ran in the London Marathon a couple of years ago. England attacking the goal to our left. There's Walker and Stuart Pearce, both of whom, along with Steve Hodge, will be back here at the weekend in the Littlewoods Cup final. Steve Bull, a bit strong for Hodge. Steve Bull winning his 4th cap. Doubtless remember that he scored on his debut in pretty dramatic style against Scotland at Hampden Park. Looks as though Kinnear is taking Bull at the start. Gascoigne take the free kick. Unlikely to be given much of the responsibility in that area. Comfortably out. And a good flick on by Knoflicek. This is Moravcik. Knoflicek and Kubik. Kubik playing in the centre of midfield. Well, the 2 players who very nearly came to Derby County before the political atmosphere changed in Czechoslovakia. Here's Knoflicek. The Czechoslovakians by no means the same draw as the Brazilians. It's quite a small crowd at Wembley on what is a very pleasant spring evening. There's Kubik, who now plays for Fiorentina. So he'll be playing in the UEFA Cup final. Stephen looking for the flick on. And the free kick against Des Walker. Landed on the back of Knoflicek. Slightly slow build-up and several changes of mind. Kinnear battling to win the ball back. Stuart Pearce, I thought, had an excellent game against Brazil. Early touches from Bull have not been quite what he would wish. Peter Shilton hoping to last a little longer than 11 minutes, which was the case last time when he collided with Des Walker. Good use of the chest by Lineker. This is Kubik. It turns in midfield. Not good control by Knoflicek. Dixon, I think that's his first touch. Gascoigne called for it, got it. Free kick is given for the late challenge. Really this match amounting to a trial game for Gascoigne. The referee didn't like that challenge. The Spurs player claiming that he won the ball. but I think most referees would have given a free kick for that. It looked dangerous, even if it wasn't. He certainly took off a bit. Yes. Variation of an up and under. Or maybe under and up. Not a nervous start by the Czechoslovakian visitors. They only haven't won here. They've never scored here. Kubik. A little bit of space for Moravcik. Plays for one of the less fashionable clubs, Plastica Nitra. Dixon. Skuhravy not given the opportunity. There's Walker across. Thought occurs to me, I wonder whether Plastica Nitra play on grass or on an artificial surface. 3 up on the edge of the box for Czechoslovakia, now 4. This is Bajlik. There's a Bajlik and a Bilek in the side. Gascoigne's challenge. First notes for the England manager. Doesn't have to select a 40 anymore, just a 22. And he said he'd do that after the Denmark game. They've left a man in the middle, and the man in the middle didn't take advantage of it. The little captain, Ivan Hasek. But Butcher and Pearce actually took the same man then. And they left the skipper unmarked. Yeah, Butcher, I think, got a hair in the face, if nothing more. No free kick. Ball clears it. Finds Lineker. That's well played by Gary Lineker. Dixon. Inside is Stephen, behind is Walker. England team of 6 changes from the last match here. Not quite so good by Lineker, that one. It's difficult to judge a team performance when a number of players are really wanting to impress as individuals to get into the squad. It's quite a problem, Trevor, blocking that.
Well, I think you mentioned the 4 players, really. Lee Dixon, Steve Hodge, Paul Gascoigne and Stevie Bull, probably the fringe players that will be trying to impress. Lee Dixon perhaps coming in as the outsider with Paul Parker and Gary Stevens. But probably Steve Bill, Gary Lineker, the interesting pairing up front, I think, for me tonight.
And Bull certainly will not lack endeavour. What he has to prove is that he has international qualities. He's already got a black eye, but I don't think he's picked that up this evening. Probably while scoring 27 goals for Wolves, continuing his high scoring, whatever the division. Pearce might just have a crack now. Does indeed. Struck it well with his left foot. Mikloshko right behind the line. But he would have felt it as it arrived. Enjoying life down at Upton Park. Kicks a long ball too, as we'll now see. Hodge. Played so well, Hodge, in the '86 World Cup. Pearce. Trevor Stephen. It's nice to Hodge. Good challenge by Bajlik. Czechoslovakia playing with Skuhravy really forward. Knoflicek just slightly behind him. Moravcik offers fair width on the left-hand side. That's forward by Bilek. Dixon. Kinnear across. Dixon. Gascoigne. Forced away. And Bull wins the corner. First of the match. Czechoslovakia have had their first. This is England's. Butcher, as usual, on patrol at the near post. Ball, in fact, coming across to the edge of the 6-yard area, the near edge. And well claimed.
He's 6'4". He does like to come out for crosses, so he doesn't really have to jump, does he? But there he goes, launches one of his missiles well into the opposition's half. He's not quite getting the distance he sometimes gets set up to the half there.
Pierce. Comfortably away by Kotzian. We've had the first 10 minutes. Not too many notes in the reporters' notepads, I wouldn't think. Nottingham Forest working the left flank. Glasgow Rangers trying to come in from the right in the person of Trevor Stephen. Bilek, Moravcik. And off the check down the middle. Skuhravy trying to lose Walker. This is Kubik. Hashek. And off the check has come out to the right. And that's a very, very good goal. Quite beautifully taken by Skuhravy and well applauded. England looked very uncomfortable. It was a simply worked attack across the field. Nice ball in by Konopnicek, and Skuhravy wide of Peter Shilton's right hand. And that's the first goal that Czechoslovakia have scored here at Wembley. And incidentally, the 50th that England have conceded in Bobby Robson's reign.
Peter Shilton looking a bit upset there, to be fair. England had defenders back, and for once the solid pairing of Des Walker and Terry Butcher just allowed the scorer Skuhravy to get between him, and really Peter Shilton had no chance with a very good flick header in towards the far post. Really playing to our strengths, the high ball in, and for once we caught nothing. It's been a fairly sedate start, hasn't it, with newcomers come into the side, and it's been difficult for England to get going, and suddenly they concede a sloppy goal, and it's going to be a test of character now for those lads.
And I think it's true to say that's not the first occasion in this match when they've had a little problem in the air. I remember an occasion when Butcher and Pierce took the same man on the near post. This is Hodge. And he gets the free kick as he runs into Kotzian. The spare defender came to meet him, just stood his ground. England unbeaten for 15 games. And they want to change of ball.
I'm pretty sure that must be England's decision rather than Czechoslovakia. Paul Gascoigne indicating he didn't think it was round enough. Skuhravy, who scored the goal, reckoned it was okay.
Butcher prepared to make the run across from the far side. Two others with him. Nobody at the moment on the near post. Pierce leaves it for Gascoigne. It's hit way at the back, where Bull gets a free header. But nobody capitalising when the ball came across the box. Gascoigne. Banged away by Kubik. Free kick given against Kinnear. Butcher up again. Same ploy. Well claimed. Again, it was ball coming in behind the goalkeeper. Well, he won't be pleased to be a goal down, Bobby Robson, but he might in fact learn more about the players he's got on the park this evening as a result of it. Skuhravy, it's his 5th goal for his country, and the first one outside the World Cup qualifying rounds where he scored the previous 4. Bit of shirt pulling going on. Shirt stands the test. Bull lives up to his name. Not going to be too much unbroken china, I don't think. Brian Robson, who hasn't seen actually that much of the ball and doesn't now, leaves it to Gascoigne. Mike from Gascoigne.
One of those goalkeepers, Ludo, as he's affectionately known, as I say, down West Ham, who does come for everything. And when he takes them like that, you just wonder where you're going to put the ball into the penalty area. But he has been known just to let the odd one slip. So the England lads must make sure that they keep persevering. But Paul Gascoigne, who seems to be taking most of the free kicks, they'll have to make sure he doesn't pull them far enough away from him, not to encourage him to come and take them all evening.
Free kick is England's. And the Czechoslovakians finding the physical demands made on them by Steve Bull causing a few problems. 4 England players in the 18-yard area. Now Robson makes it 5. It's curling away from the goalkeeper towards the oncoming attackers. And it was Bielik from Sparta Prague. Put it away. Steve Bull there with Slacker. Kinnear with Gary Lineker. Comfortably away. Chance of a counter. Lost a lot then. Oh, Konopnicek. Dixon. Lineker. Walker. Taken by Bielik. Kubik a little slow. And here's Bull. Oh, well struck. It's 1-1. And really that came as a result of Kubik being caught in midfield. And the crowd roaring in appreciation. Gascoigne, who played it through with a superb pass from the outside of his foot. And it was rifled in past the goalkeeper, was fairly high in the air. Very good pass. And an excellent finish. The ball dropped beautifully on the instep. And the West Ham goalkeeper really didn't have a prayer. Bull's 2nd goal and Gascoigne's first point made in the match.
Well, whatever happens to the game, that was a magnificent pass. Sized up the situation outside of the right foot, floated over the defence. Stevie Bull, again, he showed a lot of character because he's had 1 or 2 heavy touches when laying the ball off, but suddenly his goal-scoring instinct comes into play, into the penalty area. 1 touch, just set up nicely, volleyed high into the net. And there he is. Here it is, outside of the right foot, floated over the Czech defence, just chested it down, sat up high into the net. And as you say, Glasgow, no chance. A superb goal, and perhaps that'll just settle some of the England players down now.
Kubik. Hashek. even. Pearce. Hodge made a bit of space by the run. That's good play by Pearce. Ball back post. Not the best of crosses by the Nottingham Forest skipper, having made the position well. Wilig to Kubik. Wilig. And a quality pass from Paul Gascoigne of clear international quality. That's a free kick. Enough to check the player underneath Pearce. Enough to check moving away as one of three, marked by three, and in the line with the far posts. The other two Czechoslovakians are Skuhravy, scorer of their goal, and Hasek, the skipper. And it's going to be Kubik to take it. He could get round the outside of the wall, it seems to me. Goes the other way. Excellent try. They're very, very good at dead ball kicks, the Czechoslovakians. Everyone had his turn in practice yesterday evening, and the heads in the wall did not a bit.
Just clear that Shilton wasn't happy with the wall. He just wondered whether they broke, and I'm not sure if he would have got across to the near post. It's a well-struck shot, just went into the side, netting much to everyone's relief.
Gascoigne. Lineker chased him, released the ball at just the right time. Pearce got it back well. Skuhravy didn't come in for a second try. Robson drew the man before making the pass. Dixon. Little nudge on Bull, I suspect, by Kinnear. Kotsian, his first foray forward, could be made to pay for it. Robson, Bull. Robson rather put in the role by some people as Gascoigne's minder. Offside against Skuhravy. But a player who can split a defence with a pass like that is, to put it mildly, worthy of consideration. Corner one because of the error by Kinnear of Slovan Bratislava. Butcher waits. Gascoigne comes across to take. Straka seems to take Butcher when he comes forward for the set piece. And Butcher got a bit of it. And Pearce is the scorer. And a nice celebration for Stuart Pearce of his 28th birthday yesterday. His first goal for England was actually the Czechoslovakian head that knocked it across, and Pearce got on top of it well to rifle it down. Good battling by Butcher, which caused the error then by Lineker. And Pearce, 2-1 England. Moravcik hasn't seen much of the ball in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Moravcik. Skuhravy. Hodge could have a crack. Thought about it for a moment. Knoflicek. Moravcik, Knoflicek. Nobody wants to take the responsibility. This is Kotzian. Playing across an England defence. Has all back bar two. Came the wrong way off Robson. Oh, he went to fight for it too. Kubik, well struck. Has hit the ball very sweetly indeed. A man playing in Fiorentina. Well, let's look again at Stuart Pearce's goal from the other side. Butcher battling for the flick on, but it came off the man marking him. Then to Lineker, and nice to see Pearce balance himself so well. And I said, Trevor Brooking, that Bobby Robson might learn more by the fact that Czechoslovakia had scored an early goal.
Come back very well, England. First Stevie Bull, and then of course they worked hard at the set pieces against Brazil. It brought a goal. This time, this occasion, if you whip it in at the near post, whether it comes off of the defender or one of the England players, on this occasion it was Stracker who was marking Butcher, but it just touched it on at the far place. And Stuart Pearce, well, his left foot, I wouldn't have liked to get in the way of many of his left foot shots, but he kept it down very well, as you say. Could have snatched at it, and there we are, 2-1, where just 10 minutes ago we were 1-0, and it was all looking a little bit worrying.
Czechoslovakian goal in the 11th minute. England's replies in the 18th and the 23rd. Czechoslovakia at this moment have 3 up. The ball still very much at the back with Kotzian. Build up is a little pedantic. Robson. Space right side for Dixon. Lineker makes the earlier run. Kinnear goes with him. It's been the usual pattern. Left a bit of a mark on Gary Lineker then, did Kinnear. Vladimir by Christian name, in case you think that the former Spurs player has changed his nationality. Fall coming for the cross. Gascoigne who won it. Bull who challenged. Moravcik popping up on the right side. An awful lot being played through Kubik. Mishek stayed onside and is now fouled. Expecting the flag, a clear handoff. Might look quite good here on Saturday, but not good on the Wednesday night. Rugby League Cup final on the Saturday. Bialik takes it. That's a good header back on attempt, but he was blocked. He's got a corner from it. No, he hasn't. He's got a free kick instead for England. Don Howe with the glasses, looking quite concerned. Pearce. Robson. Up front. Lineker followed by Kinnear. Ball by Stracker. Kotzian is the spare man. Here's Lineker. Looks for support on the right side. Dixon initially a little reluctant. Trevor Stevens. Cross. Oh! Unnecessary employment. Kloshko from Bialik. Well struck cross. I think Ball wasn't quite sure whether he was going to knock it onto somebody or whether he was going to take it on his chest and have a go himself, and he got caught between two thoughts. Moravcik. I'm sure Bobby Robson would have noted everything that Gascoigne has done since bringing the crowd to its feet, and maybe it's in that area that he has to make as much point as with the flamboyance and the touches of something a little different. It's always been the case for the skillful of England. They have to have the sweat of the brow as well. Just a slight smile on the face of Trevor Brooking. Here's Paul Gascoigne. Pearce didn't really hit it right, but Lineker almost made something of it, got in front of Kinnear.
Stuart Pearce, I think it was a shot, nearly ended up a great low cross. Gary Lineker. When I mentioned about Steve Bull, Gary Lineker, the pairing, it's just the fact that they're both so instinctive strikers and finishers that there's Gary Lineker wandering back. He's taking up a lot of deeper positions, whereas mostly when he plays up there by himself, he likes it over the top, similar to the position that Steve Bull, in fact, received Gascoigne's pass for the goal. And it's just a matter of whether they can make sort of separate runs and really link in together.
Kotzian. Butcher. Pearce. Free kick. Referee thought about it, gave it against Bull. Knoflicek, forced away by Butcher. Kubik. Oh, that's a poor pass, but finally able to get there. Moravchik, right in front of the linesman, who was quite unimpressed. Robson. Trevor Stephen. Wandering from his right side patrol. Lineker. Making the point that Trevor Brooking just made, quite deep. Square of Gascoigne, he's gone for the return. Tottenham combination. And ended by Straka from Borussia Mönchengladbach. But nice play between the two. Butcher comes forward to join Lineker around the near post. Back flick prevented that time. Quickly in was Trevor Stephen. And who scored the winning goal of the Scottish Championship. Trevor Stephen giving Glasgow Rangers the title for the 40th time on Saturday. Weilich. Kubik. Straka. Hashek. Straka's gone out to the right. Knoflicek made an interesting run right to left. Kubik thinking about the shot again. Out by Walker, got a bit crowded in the middle. Bilek had wanted it on the far side. Trevor Stephen certainly picking up without any trouble his international career. It's only his second game for England since the 1988 European Championships. Promising break. Skuhravy hesitated a bit though on receipt. Knoflicek 4 up with him on the attack. This is Bilek. And Straka gets the free kick at a moment when the attack seemed to have got bogged down. Shilton having a little more to say about the wall covering the right side of his goal. But it might not be Kubik this time, but Bilek. He's a better striker with the right foot. It is going to be Bilek. Slightly side-footed. Peter Shilton comes to claim. Unsuccessfully, but Dixon was the cover in front of him. Straka. Bilek hasn't been able to get into the game as much as Czechoslovakia would wish. And who scored the crucial goals against Portugal in the World Cup group, from which Czechoslovakia qualified alongside Belgium. Offside against Skuhravy. For Gascoigne. Czechoslovakia pushing up. Butcher. Robson, Pearce. Nice from Pearce to Trevor Stephen, who made a good run. Hodge. Two in the middle for England only at the moment. Stephen. Pearce. Hodge. Bilek behind him. Probable long throw unless somebody makes a run. Hodge offers. Now Gascoigne does to the right of Pearce. Now Bull. Spectacular from Ludo. Butcher. Gascoigne. Front players all moving away from him. Dixon. Stephen. Gascoigne trying to increase the pace slightly of the attack. Kubik fouled Robson. Hodge does well. Bull thinks about it, drives it. Well, it's the first thought in his mind is to have a crack at goal. Spun from right to left, but shouldn't have beaten an international goalkeeper from that range. Pass rather telegraphed by Moravcik. Gascoigne. There was a bit of space for a couple of players, but Gascoigne held on to it. Hodge. Well done if he can reach it, and he can, and it's a good cross. Trevor Stephen. Goal kick is the verdict, and the referee making some observations about people calling. Good play by Stevie Hodge.
Does well to get the cross in, and actually Trevor Stephen chests it down well, just as it drops over the half volley, just sliced it off the outside of his left foot. But Steve Hodge and Trevor Stephen both like playing midfield. There's Stevie Hodge, and really his best position, I think most people would agree, is central midfield, making those deep runs. But tonight being asked to play sort of out wide, just tucking in as John Barnes and Chris Waddle unavailable. But I think his better sort of performances have been for Nottingham Forest in that central midfield role, coming the late runs that we have often seen Brian Robson do for England.
Well, it may be those battling as the deputy for Brian Robson. But he certainly gave good value in the World Cup. Brian Robson, we hope that his injury and other problems have come to an end. Brave header by Pearce. Good play by the skipper. Dixon. Appeal for offside, and it's given. Butcher, Lineker goes right. Ball, in fact, bisected the two front players. Won by Dixon. Done everything handily. The Arsenal player. Gascoigne. And through to Robson. I think there may have been a hand in controlling the ball there by the skipper. And so it was a useful little ball through. Didn't quite get hold of the shot anyway.
Good bit of invention again by Paul Gascoigne, and certainly the creative play in this first half has undoubtedly come from the newcomer, the number 8, and I'm sure he and Bobby Robson are quietly pleased how he's performing at present.
Bilek. Dixon, it's the first time he's been passed. Got back quickly. Got a bit of a knock then, Dixon. Terry Butcher. Ball wants it on his left. Goes totally differently to Dixon on his right. Ball come to be beaten by Kotzian. That's something that he's used to finding, an extra man. Ball plays for and gets the ricochet. Gascoigne. Pearce started to move to his left, but a little late. Gascoigne, 3 in the box. Doesn't find Robson cleanly, but he finds him. And they're queuing up. It's a corner. England's tally: 5 corners, 2 goals. Czechoslovakia, 1 corner, 1 goal. And we have 3 minutes of the half remaining. The referee wants to talk to Gary Lineker. Well, that's what's called making it yours. Came right into the crowd to use his height and physique and claim and hold on well. Yes, going to Dixon. Asks for it, gets it back. Hodge is well forward. Front line of 3 for a moment. Then Hodge comes a little deeper. Ball looking for Lineker. Oof. Hodge. Gascoigne just ahead of Pearce. Pearce ignores him and then gives it to him rather deeper. Butcher. Ball far post. That's for Lineker. Bilek who came across to get it away. Skuhravy, fouled by Walker. Skuhravy check. Not a bad try, and it's a corner.
Just as well, his first touch took him wide there. If he could have taken it more through the middle, he wouldn't have given himself such a tight angle, which Peter Shilton got a hand to. I think it would have gone into the side netting, but he was taking no chances.
Curious for Bobby Robson that looking at other things to find answers, he's finding something that he thought was sure. not as sure as usual. Good save. Looks as though he's posing for the artist. It's another corner. Peter Shilton, incidentally, making his 50th appearance in an international at Wembley and his 55th all told. Covered by Bull. Out by Walker. Not away yet, and they've got a wide man. Kotsian and Bull. Again, the defender. Even up the corners. Met by Pearce. And the whistle is the half-time whistle. And England, having been given a shock, came back well. A really delightful pass by Paul Gascoigne, setting up Steve Bull to score England's equaliser. And Stuart Pearce, birthday boy yesterday, giving England the lead. And it was Skuhravy, the Czechoslovakian number 10, who shook England a little bit with his earlier goal in the 11th minute. Quite a lot, I think, for Bobby Robson to ponder, and not all the problems that those which he was expecting. And it's 3 for England.
Well, 2 of the new ones have combined rather well. First for the equaliser, and then early in the second half, Paul Gascoigne drifting past a couple of tackles, whipping in a great cross that the goalkeeper started to come but would never have got near. And Stevie Bull, as you say, unmarked. A free header, but you still got to put him in. And that he did. 2 goals, he must be thinking about a possible hat-trick, I would think.
England throw. Looking at the goal from the other side, clearly shows the cross and the paucity of marking. And they've done what the manager would have asked of them. One's been the provider, the other the scorer. And I don't think Bobby Robson will be complaining too much about possible problems of selection. He might feel he has to have both in his squad now. Skuhravy. Knopflicek. Wright gets it back. Corner is saved by Seaman. Gascoigne to Robson. Dixon down the right side. Lineker comes way deeper than usual for it. Wasn't the best of passes too. He was a little aware of the arrival of Kinnear. And Gascoigne taking it then off the back 4. Offside. Think against Lineker. Not against the man for whom I think the pass was intended, which is Hodge. But one of the problems for Bobby Robson that you suggested earlier, Trevor, is where do you fit Gary Lineker into this situation?
Well, I'm sure he's delighted for Steve Bull having got the 2 goals, but you know, in that deeper role, he's not getting the scoring opportunities probably he'd like himself, and it's just there is a query as to whether you can pay both of them. I mean, there's 3 goals tonight. It doesn't really matter who puts the ball away, but I'm sure if you ask Gary Lineker, probably would enjoy that forward role, although Steve Bull seems to be enjoying it rather himself. But it's one of those things, Paul Gascoigne playing as well, Bobby Robson. If you have a game like this, you're going to throw up 1 or 2 problems that he's going to have to decide between now and the World Cup starting.
Bialik. Play was injured briefly with Skuhravy, and the referee did have a word with Mark Wright, who made the challenge. Typical piece of Stevie Hodge cover. Stephen. Dorigo. Lineker. Gascoigne. That's good running. Good combination. And Bull. Well, they were cut apart again, Czechoslovakia, all by the pass and return. Hodge making the run, found by Gascoigne. And I think Bull may be a little disappointed that that wasn't a better header.
He just got back into the position early, and when the cross came over, he had to take 2 or 3 steps backward, and it's always harder when you're coming back out to really get the header on target. If it just delayed his run and then gone on to it, I think it would have been better.
Czechoslovakian substitute is Stanislav Griga, who's come on for Ivo Knotlicek. Comes on with just over 2/3 of the match completed. Griga plays for Feyenoord, and actually was a little surprising he didn't start. Here's Skuhravy. Right times the challenge at the expense of the corner. Skuhravy takes. Moravcik, Skuhravy, free kick. Immediately acknowledged by Gascoigne. And not sure about Gascoigne's knowledge of the French language, but I rather suspect if Gazza had replied in English that the referee might not have known that that was the language he was speaking in. There's no disrespect to those up in the northeast. It's a wonderful accent. Kubik to take. Skuhravy, and the shot is comfortable in the end. No real sting from Moravcik at all. Lineker. Free kick. Or maybe just the throw. This is the latter. That's a good throw too. Trevor Stephen. Good strike. Suggesting that he was a little bit hard on himself, complaining at himself for not keeping it down.
He's had 2 or 3 shots just all on his left foot there. Actually, Steve Bull made a good opening, pulling wide just across the 18-yard box. A little square ball, and he might have been in, as I say, for his hat-trick.
Dorigo. Hodge makes the run. Gascoigne. Paul gets himself in front. Gascoigne. Change of direction. He didn't find the pass he was looking for. Kotsian trying to find Griga, did, but with a pass that Griga couldn't control. Fault was more with the passer, I think. Right. Gascoigne. Stephen. Beautifully away from Bilek. And the goalkeeper having to adjust his position. Bull with a back header. Robson. And Czechoslovakia survive in spite of their frailties. It's a poor ball by Moravcik. And England, who have found goals difficult to come by this season, Only 3 in 5 matches before this one. Have the opportunity here to make the statistics look a great deal better. Gascoigne for the return. Kubik stands off him. And the free kick given. And there's no doubt the Tottenham man is enjoying himself. Mark Wright joining those already forwards. Bull, and then it got a flick, I think, off Lineker as well, or off Robson as well. Injured player is Straka. First one up for it was Bull, and in fact it was only his head. I say only, that seems less than fair.
It's just an occasion where he might have wanted his hair a little bit longer there, but he got up there again, challenged well. Good free kick from Paul Gascoigne. He whips in his free kicks very well, as you see. Rather than just hang them up, they go in at pace. It makes it very difficult for goalkeepers and defenders to adjust, and just couldn't quite get over it, Stevie Bull.
Well, in the middle of the substitutes, Tony Daly. All the others have played before, but Tony Daly hasn't. Aston Villa winger might fancy his chances of crossing the ball to look for Stevie Bull's head and add another dimension for the England manager to consider.
Well, I think if you're going to include him in the squad, I couldn't think of a better situation to come on in the game, and having brought him into that squad situation, you've got to find out whether he can play in an international at this level. So we'll see if he comes on in the remaining minutes.
I think Straka, who's gone off for repairs behind the goal, will have to come off completely. And if he does, the probable replacement is Cadlet's. Bilik. Morabczyk. Wright. Dixon certainly made a good start to international career. Hasn't made any errors. Butcher. Ball goes off chasing with Kotzian. And is quicker to the knockdown. Early one in by Hodge. Stephen. Gascoigne. Would have been an outrageous goal if that had gone in. But then it is a word that comes to mind about him. Oh, well played. Oh, unlucky. Did the right thing, Dorigo. He just didn't quite have enough room, or perhaps it was his control wasn't quite good enough. Czechoslovakia, meantime, make their substitution. And on comes Miroslav Kadlec of Vitkovice. Comes from the same town, most, as the great Mazopust. Joseph Mazopust scored in the '62 World Cup final against Brazil, before the Brazilians went on to win. It was in Santiago. Lineker. And again. Dixon. Robson. It's good play, Robson. Was he held? Certainly they're appealing, but the referee says no. Robson only has one boot. Really looked as though he was held by Kotzian. Maybe a bit of a balance for the one England got away with against Brazil. It's Butcher's header. It's over Stephen, but only down to Kubik. Skuhravy. Kubik. Hits through the crowd. Robson, it was nice interplay here. And Bull showing good touch, getting the ball in. And it did look as though there was a bit of a push and pull then by the defender, Kotsian.
Definitely there, a little tug of the right arm, but good little subtlety by Stevie Bull, very aware of Brian Robson joining him, and you know, we say he's an instinctive finisher, but now and again we see things like that, and he's adding that part to his all-round game all the time.
Lineker trying to get away from Kinnear. Dixon just inside, takes it well, Dixon. Bull! But well played, Lee Dixon. That was his best moment of the match. He took it really well. Should be a smile on his face. Saw the gap, came through with pace, controlled the ball well. Good cross, and Bull a little underneath it, unfortunately for him and for Dixon. It deserved a good finish.
Shake of the head there by Stevie Bull. He knows he should have tucked that away. But I think a superb, run and cross by Lee Dixon, which he does so well for Arsenal. I think just now settling down into the runner game, and it's good to see him doing that, because that's what you've got to do, transfer your form at club level into international. There he is, going by, kept it down very well, and Stevie Bull will know that that should have been his hat-trick, and I'm sure nobody would have got the match ball off him then.
No one would have deserved it. In the meantime, the substitute came on was Vladimir Weiss of International Bratislava, and he's replaced the scorer of Czechoslovakia's goal. Seems a long time ago now. Skuhravy, who scored in the 11th minute. The referee has words with Kinnear, who's left a few imprints on Gary Lineker. Lineker made the gap for himself. Then it closed a bit because he played the ball a bit further forward than he had intended to do. This is Kadlec. Hashek. A little disappointing after early promise, the skipper. Here he goes again, though. Well, there were one or two doubts expressed about how strongly the Italians, the Yugoslavians and the Brazilians were wanting to play. I don't think there's any doubt that England here have pretty well torn apart a Czechoslovakian side, who certainly are using every gear they can find. It's Tony Dorigo. Lineker again coming to fetch, carry or pass. Dixon. Cue of three. Good claim. Ivan Hashek. Weiss gave it away to Robson. Bull. And that's looking for Trevor Stephen, and finds him from Brian Robson. And Robson says, get out of the way. Vladimir Weiss working hard, gets the corner. And it comes with 15 minutes of the match remaining. And Bobby Robson having a word with Steve McMahon, whom he's about to introduce into the fray, in place, I think, of the skipper, Brian Robson. Robson doesn't look keen to go. And they were all looking a little bit then, and the little Ivan Hasek got up as he did in the first half. England have looked surprisingly frail at times in the air at the back. And Bobby Robson clearly has his reasons. Brian Robson hands over the skipper's band to Terry Butcher, comes off to great applause. And on comes Liverpool's Steve McMahon. Tony Dorigo. And Gascoigne takes it on the chest with a little bit of help maybe from his hand. Yes, indeed. Free kick given. Well, the substitution has to be with pattern of play, because, or maybe just that Brian Robson, who hasn't been that long back in the fray, the manager felt that he would rest him, because I can't believe that Bobby Robson needs to know any more about Steve McMahon. Done well by Wright.
Oh, Bobby Robson, plenty to smile about. 3-1.
Kubik. That's nicely played. And Weiss was trying to get through. Dorigo just got a touch. Ball has gone out to the right. Cadlet's following him everywhere. Trevor Stephen. Why Steve McMahon's getting the boos, unless the crowd are disappointed not to see somebody that they haven't seen before. There's really no reason to boo Steve McMahon, even if one understands their disappointment. Dorigo. McMahon again. Oh. Kubik. England with the 3 changes. Really need to keep the team pattern going. It's the 3 outfield changes, the goalkeeper as well. That was the agreement beforehand, unless there's an injury. David Seaman as yet really hasn't been tested at all. Gascoigne. Straight accurately to Dorigo from Gascoigne. Goes for the return. Stephen. Comfortably robbed. Kotzian. Here's again. Dorigo is in the middle. Butcher's challenge. Kubik. And the free kick is given from an interesting position. Kubik has immediately gone to where the infringement took place. Bilek goes to get the ball. Which of the two will take it? Bilek is on the right, on the left rather, and Kubik on the right. Kubik 8, Bilek 7. It's Kubik, and it's beautifully placed in the corner. And they all turn to look at David Seaman, who will be very disappointed. But it was low, and it seemed to me to go round the wall. Yes, one man moved in a little bit, actually, to jump and challenge. Stevie Hodge, I think.
I think they're conscious of that first half one, when in fact he put it over at the near post, and David Seaman's taken just a stride to his left. You see as he takes it, he goes to his left, suddenly realises it's going the side that really the wall is lined up for it to come that side, and unfortunately can't get back in time. And that will be disappointed for him, really, because he, as you say, he hasn't had a lot to do this half, and then suddenly a free kick. He has got a sweet left foot, though, Kubik, but really, I think everyone in the wall and everything looked round a little bit disappointed.
And so, a game that England were winning at a counter. It seemed to be a question of how many more goals might be added. Suddenly there's only one goal between the teams. 3-2. Lineker gets the free kick for the obstruction. And Kinnear can't quite believe it. There was a bit of an arm which made contact with the chin. And I think that's good enough reason for the French referee to say free kick. Butcher is up, Wright joins him. Ball, of course, is there as well. Gascoigne takes. Not his best. It was aimed for Lineker. Well covered by Kinnear. Gascoigne again. And he and Stephen on opposite wavelengths. Bilek. Kotsian made a good forward run. Right challenge. So left again, but he sent a telegram ahead of it. And Bull had to pull back. Stephen did well to hang on, but then gave the ball away.
Dribble Stephen there. If he'd just given it on the first touch, actually, Stevie Ball made a great run across and then went, but he would have been fractionally onside. And then, of course, once you had the first touch, then you're a yard or two offside. He did well again, Steve Ball, to check back out.
Kubik. Hashek. Moravcik. Offside. I suppose, like most matches for a manager, there are pluses and minuses, but there have been a few minuses in the last 2 or 3 minutes. It was a comfortable victory for England. The expressions on the faces have changed on the English bench. Bull. Touch and holding the ball certainly has improved after the opening 2 or 3 that all bounced away. Lineker needs support. Dixon. Gascoigne is square but not going forward. Still stays square. Now Gascoigne. Got 10 yards to move into. Lineker. Kinnear always tries to get the challenge in when the ball arrives. Trevor Stephen. Lee Dixon. Lineker popping up over the other side, and the free kick is given against Kadlets. Although he may not be entirely happy with the role that he's played in the evening, certainly Gary Lineker, as usual, worked hard. Dorigo and Gascoigne. In comes Butcher. Bull did well. Stephen. Kubik completes the clearance. Dixon gets back, keeps it in play. That's well played again by the Arsenal fullback. He's had a good match for me in debut international. Gascoigne. Only the second time Gascoigne has played a full game. 6 other substitute appearances totaling 80 minutes. Kubik. Weiss. Fine tackle by Butcher. Free kick is rightly given. Robson making sure that Gascoigne is happy. And one of the questions that the media will want to know of Bobby Robson, is he happy with the same gentleman? Dorigo caught slightly in two minds. Vilik was coming towards him. Free kick. And the match ending on a rather down note. Vilik. And the chase for Griga. Inside right. That's a good try too by Griga. They do strike the ball very sweetly indeed, Joseph Venglosh's team.
They break very well, good ball over the top. And as Mark Wright comes across, gets a little knock on there, the forward. Man running through the middle he thought about, but then decided to hit one with his left foot. Wasn't that far away, was it?
Well, the all-time record of unbeaten matches for England, you have to go back to the last century, 20. Although Sir Alf Ramsey, or Alf Ramsey as he was then, had 19, which included the success in the '66 World Cup. Dixon, covering header, concedes the corner. But unless England are to concede twice, this present run will move on to 16. Which is certainly the best in Bobby Robson's 8 years in control. And again, spun off the head of Bull, put out by Butcher. And the crowd wanting the final whistle now. So long ago, they were just wanting more goals. Seaman will be a little happier to have hung on to that awkward game in Saudi Arabia, then play the last 25 minutes in the last match of last season in Copenhagen. He's had a rather unhappy time with conceding the free kick in his third appearance. Gascoigne. Thank you very much. Suddenly the smile is back. That little piece of magic brings a smile to everyone's face, not least his. And Gascoigne making absolutely sure that the manager knows what he's done. It was all dropping away. Dorigo played the ball in. Gascoigne doesn't seem to change pace, but he gets away from people. And the finish was a delight. In the last minute,
runs with the ball, takes it wide of the defender, doesn't have to really go past him, hits it with his left foot. A superb strike, and I think that probably just guarantees Paul Gascoigne getting the headlines just ahead of Stevie Bull. They're definitely the two pluses of the evening, though.
And I don't think there can be any doubt that Gascoigne will be in the squad. Interesting choice for Bobby Robson is to replace for him in the team. Not the easiest, because there's got to be a place in Bobby Robson's mind in the England team for Messrs Waddle and Barnes, obviously.
I think that's the problem. If you play with those two wide, who don't tackle back as Trevor Steven and Stevie Hodge has done tonight, it then would leave Brian Robson a bit exposed in the central midfield area. Whereas this evening, when Paul Gascoigne has gone forward, Hodge and Steven has done very well just tucking in and helping out. So that's one of those problems, but I'm sure Bobby Robson will be quite happy to think about that one anyway.
Yes, and I suppose you could just play one up and an extra covering man. Well, that's for Bobby Robson to resolve. If this was the main question of the night, the answer is very much in the affirmative. Gascoigne surely has pleased Bobby Robson. Big conversation going on with two goalkeepers, but this is the man that all the media will want to talk to. Dixon, who made a very good start, and Steve Bull, who also, after a few difficult touches early on, scored a couple of cracking goals to push his case a bit more. This man, though, David Seaman, will be rather disappointed.